Yeah, in the natural habitat, the clothes moth, the fabric moth would be feeding off a carcass of a dead animal. So it'd fly onto the carcass, lay their eggs. Soon after that, the larvae would be hatched, and then the larvae would then spend between 4 and 7 months in the perfect conditions, developing, eating, and consuming fur and wools and feathers, before it would then become a moth and start that full life cycle and process again. Um, in our homes, they're often transported now. People think they fly through the windows, and that's not so much the case. It's generally they've been transported in from a new woolen carpet or an antique piece of clothing, as an egg, as a larvae, and then it kind of blossoms from there, especially with good central heating and nice warm conditions, as well as the fact that they have a reliable food source, whether that again is fur, silk, wool, feathers. Yeah, and then we go on from there. Like I've said, it's the larvae that does the damage, and the larvae is a caterpillar-looking creature, 2-3 millimeters in length, and that's what eats. That's what consumes those animal products. Wool in carpets, feathers in pillows, silk scarves. That list goes on, and the early recognition or good early spotting of these is quite often either damage to an item, or it is seeing a moth on the wing. Yet seeing a moth on the wing is not a great way of identifying the size of an infestation, because these moths don't like to fly. They like to stay low to the ground. They like to stay near their food source, so they can breed. That's their only job once they take wing, is to breed, and then that life cycle will start again. They breed, they lay their eggs, the larvae then starts doing the damage, and again and again and again. And which is why it's so important that when we look at preventative measures, or when we go in there to survey, we're looking at places like under beds, behind cabinets, and under units, the backs of wardrobes, those places that we don't always go and visit, we don't always go and clean. It could be a safe haven, a real harbourage for clothes moth, and the damage can then be quite extensive in those areas, but it can also then move out and push out and look for other food sources. A major problem, especially in affluent buildings, and these can be domestic or places like museums, are and is wool insulation. And we had a problem recently in a very large property in Knightsbridge, where they're full. All their cavities were full of woolen insulation, and all their cavities had a severe infestation of clothes moth, which is a major issue, and one that required extensive work. But yeah, if you've got issues, good cleaning, and isolate any kind of damaged products, any damaged items of clothing, dry clean, freeze, and good vacuuming.